Hello and good evening and welcome. My name is Darren. I thought I would start just a couple of minutes early because I have a tendency to overrun. So I thought if I just do the preliminaries to begin with. Whoops. There we go. So I know that we're broadcasting okay, coming through loud and clear. If there's any issues or hiccups at your end, if you just let me know, because I've got quite a bit of stuff opened up on my PC at the moment. Because we've got quite a heavy session really today. So first of all, if you could just let me know that you can see me and hear me. If you could let me know in that live chat bit that's just there, that would be great. Excuse me. And also while we're going through a bit of the housekeeping, if you're new to these Hangouts, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can go to Jeremy Rush's YouTube channel and you will find a lot of our Hangouts, a lot of our information is going to be stored there. We may need to skip over some bits of the detail tonight, simply because there's just so much to cram into an hour. But if there's something that you're unsure of, there are two options for you. The first one is to go through the YouTube channels that are attached to this video, or go to Jeremy Rush's YouTube channel. Or probably the better way is if you have a look below in the comments section, you should find a couple of comments by some of our founders and obviously some links there. And if you contact them, then they will be able to help you. You know, if you've got anything that you want to put some meat onto the bones that I go through tonight. So with that said, if you are a founder or you are a member of Zukul, then obviously put your details, put your links and contact details or social media details down in the chat there. And obviously over the next few days, what I'll do is I'll authorize those comments and people can use them. The other thing, and I say this every time, is if you have any questions, I'm going to be talking about founders. I'm going to be talking about binary options. I'm going to give you a bit of a sneaky peeky at the Forex and one or two other little things that I've got up my sleeve as well. I'm going to go through those. So if you've got any questions on what I'm covering tonight, then again, if you put them in capitals on the in the live chat there, then obviously what I'll do is, if we get a chance, I will get through to those. And if I can answer them tonight, brilliant. If I can't, then obviously I'll get in touch with you after the show, as it were, once I've got the right answer for you. Okay, so hopefully you can see and hear me. You can. That's brilliant. All right, let me just have a quick drink. Okay, right, let's get going. Where should we start first? Well, I've got my list here. Right. Trading. Let's have a quick look at my binary bot. Now, I set up a bot live on, I think it was Monday. Just bear with me a moment. As you know, I cannot multitask. So there we go. So we're sharing, hopefully. So I set up a binary bot on Monday, and I was explaining how to set it up. And I have to say, it was a complete and utter disaster. So it absolutely bombed. So obviously I ditched that one, and I've set up a few more. When I've been out a lot this morning, so just put my glasses on. So you can see here, I've got a bot here that's been running since yesterday lunchtime. It's been all over the place a little bit. It's been slow. It's not been trading, and there's been a few sort of hiccups with it. But either way, it's still in profit, so I'm okay with that. And then I set up a few more here this afternoon, and I'm going to show you what I based the settings of these bots up. I'm going to show you that later on today, because as you can see, 4 of the 5 are in profit. This one here hasn't actually made any trades yet. I've just had a look at the charts for Ethereum Classic, and my settings, it's not actually trading. So I'm not sure why that is. I mean, the chart is all over the place, so I'm glad it's not. But like I say, the other 4 are obviously in profit. Now, again, what you need to perhaps, let me just see if I can blow this up for you guys to make it a bit bigger. So you can see here, it's actually been in a loss. So this one here has been in a loss to $3. $6, $7, $6, $5. But they've now obviously all returned to profit. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment that they're going to continue skyrocketing into profit, but I just want to make sure that you're aware that, you know, my bots do go into negatives. Right? I've not just sort of screenshot this, and as you can see, as a mouse over, things move. So again, this isn't a screenshot. This is a live view of my of this sort of demo account. All right, so I'm going to show you in a bit the settings that I've used for these, and again, it's something that you guys can do, and I think, well, clearly I'm extrapolating here, but clearly it seems to have worked over the past few hours. It's something I discussed very briefly on Monday, and I got a few questions back from it, so I thought I'd actually show you what it is that I'm doing. So I'll show you that in a moment. Now let me just clear out a few of these bits, and let's get back to the chat. Oh, I seem to have stalled there. I'll bring that up to, there we go. Right, so, okay, so if you have any questions, again, like I say, I've put all the details here for the questions. Please put them in capitals. And again, there's a couple of links here, should you find it useful. Again, there's links there at the live chat, and I've put the links here also in the comments section. All right, so, so there's lots of information there for you. Right, let us now move on to, what am I going to cover next? Well, I've got, I want to go through founder presentation. Let me just stop sharing a second. I want to go through founder presentation. I want to go through, like I say, show you the Forex, which I might do next. I'm then going to show you, like I say, the little trick that I've got for that trading. Also, there's a specific question around about stop loss and how that stop loss works. So I'm going to answer that, and I'm going to use my flip chart for that. And then, like I say, we're going to go through any questions that you guys might have as well. So hopefully, if I can get my Hangout up to date, so for some reason it keeps stopping, there we go, then we can get rocking and rolling. Yes, we are, we're all fine. Let me show you our Forex. Now, I'm showing you the Forex. This is absolutely in its early stages, all right? So I don't want you guys running off saying that we're going to be having a Forex bot next week. It's not, we're not that advanced yet. What we're working on at the moment is let me hide that. What we're working on at the moment is various strategies, as it were. So we'll just get rid of that and make this bigger. Now, what you're looking at here is, it's a demo account, okay? This is some trading software that you can download. I've actually downloaded it from 24 Option, okay? So what we're doing now is we're running bits of software and trading analysis on Forex. Now, Forex is a lot trickier to use, okay? I'm not going to make any bones about it. It's a lot more difficult to use than binary. Binary is very straightforward. It's what we probably would advise absolute beginners using, whereas Forex is a little bit more complicated. You're dealing with leverage, and you're dealing with, as you see. Now, obviously, when we create the bot, it will be built along lines, I would imagine, that the binary options bot and our other trading bots are. So you'll be, once you're familiar with, there are, if I go to, where are we? Yeah. So if I go to our setup here, then obviously the Forex will look, the basic settings will obviously look similar to this. So we're not going to be doing too much scaling. We'll have obviously a pop-up box where you can set various criteria, and then obviously the bot will then crack on and start to do your trading for you. Now, I just wanted to show you the types of potential that is available within Forex and why it is such an exciting avenue for us to be going down. So as you can see, I've got various currency pairings selected here. I'll just pick perhaps this one here. So this is the British pound against the Japanese yen. Now you can see we've got a bit of trading analysis going on here. We've got obviously where we've got various trades which are happening. And as you can see, okay, if the bot was live, set live, then you can see here that it would be making down trades here. Okay, and you can see that the price moves down. You can see here that it would make an up trade. You can see here that the price is going up. And obviously here it would make a down trade. And you can see here the price is going down. So you can see, just even from a visual point of view, that there is clearly strategy involved here. I am not clearly going to discuss that strategy, but I just wanted to make you aware that these are strategies that we're working on. And as you can see, if I pick another one, I don't know, this one here, if I zoom out of that, again, you can see here, there's a trade up here, there's a trade down, there's a trade up. This one here, it's a trade down here, but it's probably a break-even trade there. There's a trade up, trade down, bit of an up, bit of a down, bit of an up, possibly a couple of break-even trades there, but then a nice drop here, possibly a break-even, and then there's a nice drop here, and then there's another nice drop there as well. Now, what sort of money, obviously everybody's going to be interested in that. What sort of money could you make on these trades? Well, if I just take this one here, so let us say here, so this one here, so this trade here as an example is currently running at around about 128 pips. Okay, don't know whether you can see that. You can see there's little numbers. I'm pointing to it on my screen, but obviously you can't see me pointing. But you can see as I move this little cross here at the bottom, you can see that there's move it up here. You can see that underneath the cross it says 58. That's how many candles, okay, or how many signals. Then there's another, and there's a dash, and then there's another set of numbers. Moment system 996. Well, as I move that changes, and that is showing you the pips. So that is showing 100. It's actually showing 1,285. But you basically take the last one off because it's we're looking for whole pips. So it's about 128 pips worth of profit that would have been made on that particular trade. Okay, so that's not bad. Okay, and you could be making 10 cents per pip, you could be making £1 a pip, you could be making $10 a pip, whichever way it worked out, how much leverage you wanted to use, how much money you wanted to trade. You know, that is the sort of profits that we're talking about. And in time scale, well, each of those, if you can see it across the bottom, each of those candles is set at 30 minutes. So those pips have been operating since the 23rd of October until now. Okay, so that just gives you an example of when you've got a winning trade, Forex is in allowing it to run. Okay, if you've got a trade which isn't working for you, so let's perhaps look if it isn't working. Let's have a look. I don't know what we've got here. This looks flatter. Okay, so here you've got some little short ones. Now, if we just do our little cross again, we would have entered the market around about here, and we would have exited around about here. And again, you'd have lost. You've lost about 2 pips in that market. But then from that reversal, if you like, you would then sort of enter the market again. He'd exit the market probably be about here. You would have made about another 3 pips. So in the course of that time period there, you'd have broken even. But you've then got another winning trade here. And then we've got a winning trade here that is still running. Okay, so you've got a trade that's running here. So it's all about cutting if it's not going to win, it's not going to run, then we cut it short and make sure we don't make any heavy losses. And then the trades that do win, like this one here, imagine coming into the market here and taking in that huge drop there. Let's just find out what that would have been. It would have been about around about, what's that, 57, 58 pips. Okay, that's not bad, is it? Okay, and again, these candles here are in 5-minute sections. All right, So it's, that is space of 7 o'clock until about 11 o'clock. So not bad for about 2 or 3 hours work. So again, that is what we're working on in the background. Strategies are looking good. What we now need to do is obviously, let me stop sharing. Let's press the thingy. There we go. So the strategies are looking good. What happens now, just to give you a little bit of background, is that we then write the specifications for that. Programmers then go off and they turn our written specifications of how we would trade, and they then turn that into some magical stuff that then runs in our demo modes. We then test it again in their demo modes, and then we test it with live, and then we then release that to the general public, which is a very similar thing of what we've done with the other trading bots we've got running at the moment, and obviously the process that we're going through now with the binary options bot. So like I say, strategy looks good, and it should be, and it's easy for me to say, it should be easy for the programmers to put that into a programming method, and then obviously we then need to look at ways of integrating that into third-party exchanges or brokers. Again, that is a body of work, in and of itself. So you can see that we've got some exciting stuff coming down the line. And obviously on top of that, we've got the smart wallet that's coming down, which Jeremy's already spoke to you about, and I'm sure he will do again in the next few weeks. We've also got the mining as well, which again Jeremy has spoke to you about, and again I'm sure he will discuss that again over the next few weeks as well. If you want to know a little bit more information about the smart wallet and the mining, if you go to Jeremy Rush's YouTube channel, he's got a few update videos on there which you will find really useful. Failing that, as I've already said, contact the people that have left their details in the comment section below, and I'm sure they'll be able to point you in the right direction. Okay, right, so that is Forex. Okay, really excited with where we're progressing with that. Right, what shall I do next? I will show you this little bit of analysis that I'm doing. Okay, so let me share our screen again, and I'm just going to fly over to the page here. So I'm on the Hangout page now, so if we've got any questions, no questions at the moment, which is brilliant. Okay, must be doing a good job, or you must be too busy talking to yourselves. Either way, no questions is fine. Right, so what am I doing? Right, well, I touched on this the other day, and I'm going to click on this blue button here. Now, if you're completely new to the binary options, a lot of what I'm going to talk about may not make much sense to you, but hopefully you'll see the power of it. So in order to set up our bot, we click on this blue button here, and that takes us to a stats page, which is a bit like a massive calculator. And what the programmers have done is that they've got some really great trickery that runs in the background, and it allows you to choose whichever sort of batches of binaries or options that you want to choose. So we're going to choose cryptocurrencies for ease, really, because I'm most familiar with those. And then you can then choose a maximum budget. Now you can just leave it as the default, that's absolutely fine, or you can choose a maximum budget. For argument's sake, I'm going to choose, what shall I choose? I shall choose $5. Okay, and I'll click the filter max button here. Now what it does is the software then goes off, it matches the cryptocurrencies with a maximum budget of $5, and what it will throw back at us is a list of all days of the strategies and algorithms and formulas which the best setup, which then produce the best profit on that particular day. So with only $5 to use, you can see here it's spent $3.84 to produce $51. It spent $4.48 to produce us $24, and then it spent $3 here to produce us $21. Now that looks amazing. Okay, the only issue is is that if you look closely, that the strategies and the algorithms and the formulas are all slightly different. So what we would normally do is we would then come along here and we would perhaps pick on strategy, and we would then try and match up the strategies, and we would then try and match up the formulas and try and match up the algorithms. And that system still works great. However, a couple of guys were asking, because obviously we've just sort of discussed the trade that happens around weekends and how it can obviously squiff or skew some of the information that we're looking at, which got me thinking over the weekend about what might be another way of doing it. Now, as you can see here, it's produced, we're on the 24th, so click on here, date of the 24th, and so it's giving us the last 3 days of information, which obviously would be Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. So you've got Sunday's information here, Mondays and Tuesdays. Okay. Now, if we're suggesting that Sunday's information, because it's a weekend, is possibly a little bit out for whatever reason, and really we could possibly trust the Monday and Tuesday information a little bit better, then perhaps if we were just to work with the Monday and the Tuesday information and ignore the Sunday, then we might get closer to the sort of trading setup that we would need in order to trade a Monday to Friday scenario. So that was the first thing that I looked at. And I then thought, so if we use this one here as an example, you got strategy B, strategy B. If we change this to 100, does that work? It does. And obviously the formula works as well. Now, what I then thought was, wouldn't it be good that instead of having Saturday and Sunday here, what if I had Friday's information as well? And then I then thought, well, what if I had the past 7 days worth of information to look at as well? So what I've been doing is I use this, I used Google Chrome, and there is this here, don't know what you would call it, can't remember now what it is called. Well, basically it's a screen capture thing, extension, that basically I just click and it will just take a picture of the whole screen. And then what I've done, and I've then created a very simple spreadsheet. Now this is an example, okay? I'm not telling you what the asset setup is or what the budget is. You'll need to go off and create your own asset budget. What do I mean by that? It's this figure here. So whatever your max budget is, make sure it's consistent for all the screenshots that you do, okay? And if I just show you a couple of examples. So I've put in Bitcoin, okay? So Bitcoin was one that it threw up in my max budget. And on Monday, the best scenario was an A, algorithm 20 and formula 1 to 2. Scenario was this, and Stellar, it couldn't achieve a result in the budget that I gave it. In fact, it hasn't been able to achieve a result so far. Now, what I've done is I've done Friday from last week, I've got Monday from this week, and I've got Tuesday from today. Obviously, tomorrow I'll have Wednesdays, and the day after, obviously, I'll have Thursdays. I've left Saturday and Sunday on their own, and then what I will continue to do is continue to do Monday the following week. Why am I doing it? Well, just look at this. Scenario, okay? Strategy B, strategy B. Okay, so that looks pretty good with algorithms which look quite consistent. But then look at this, their coin. We've got strategy B, strategy B. We've got a 10 and a 10. How identical is that? Now, if two bits of information out of 3, but it does look like there might be something in using that strategy and that algorithm with either a 1-1 or a 1-2 as a basis to then looking for creating a consistent Vercoin bot, which will run for perhaps more than 1, 2 or 3 days. Then look here, Ethereum Classic, same again here, B10, 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 B10 on game credits. Again here, we've got B's and B's, you might need to just play with the best algorithm between the two. But imagine, look at this here, B2, B20, B20. So you can see automatically that there is a method in my madness. So if you can imagine that if I've got another 5 days of information here, and then another 5 days of information the week after, then I might be able to build up a really strong case for the right strategy, the right algorithm, is largely going to be dependent on the budget that you're setting. Okay, but again, it's something that you may want to look at. Okay, you may want to think, look at this, the algorithm of 100 and 100, and then you've got a B and a C. Okay, it might be worth just playing with that setup just to see what results it does give you. Okay, so have a look at it. Okay, I'm not saying it's it's set in stone. I'm not saying it's a silver bullet or anything like that. Look at this one, Zcash. Clearly, C is the strong strategy there. It's about finding, look at that, 60, 70, 80 is the algorithm that's been consistent over 3 of the 5 days so far. Again, it might be that there is something in the middle of those that is going to create you a nice consistent bot over a long period of time, which will allow you to have a bot running day after day after day. Okay, now clearly some days it may take a loss, it may take a reversal, but if other days it's making you good profits, then those reversals are not necessarily going to be that important. Okay, so I thought I would share that with you. Absolutely, it is in its early stages of analysis, but this is again an example of the types of analysis that I do to enable me to do trading. And obviously, for example, with Forex and things like that, it's that type of analysis that you need to get into the habit of sort of undertaking and taking control of yourself. So hopefully that will help you. There we go. Wasn't sure why that wasn't working then, but it did in the end. Okay, so I'm just back over to the Hangout. Again, just checking to see if we have any questions so far, or whether I've totally confused you guys. Does that make sense? Okay, if anybody could just type in, yes, we can still hear you and see you, I would appreciate it. Just while I grab a quick drink. I seem to be a bit stoppy and starty on my version of this, but we can see you. Thanks, Sergio. You win the prize. You got in there really quick. Okay, so just to summarize, does everybody understand my thinking behind the what do you call it, the spreadsheet? Does that make sense? Just before I move on to anything else. And I appreciate there's a couple of sort of 30-second delay between everything what I'm saying and what you guys are hearing. So I just don't want to move on to anything else in case I need to go back through that. All good. Yeah, see here. Yeah, hopefully you can understand everything that we're going through. We are. Okay, great. Right. Okay. I will take it from that. This all looks fine, but my bots keep stopping after only a few hours. Okay, right, Lehman. First thing you might want to look at is how long you've had your bots running for. So one of the options when you set up your bot is how many hours, and the default is 1. So unless you are changing your bot settings to have it running for longer than 1 hour, then yes, it will stop after just a few hours. The other thing is that if you've got very small stop losses in place or very small targets, profit targets in place, then that again might be one of the reasons. If all of those things are all okay and you still got the same problem, then you may need to put in a support ticket and ask them to have a quick look. But really, there should be no reason. If you've got 72 hours, you've got a good amount of stop loss and a good amount of take profit, then obviously you should be absolutely fine. Okay, right, okie dokie. Now, next bit. What am I going to show you? I'm going to show you. There's a few people have been saying, how do I get to like make $150, $200 every single day with this bot? And I think one of the things that I'm probably aware of is that is people are thinking that they need to have a really big win, okay? And that is not the case. That's not how 99% of traders make their money. The way that they make their money is having consistent profits. And when you do consistent profits, it's making sure that it's really, really manageable. So what I want to do is just take you through a very, very simple exercise and just show you how quickly your profits will build up, so long as you do it very, very consistently. So I'm just going to disconnect myself, go to my flip chart, and then we'll get cracking. Now, what you will need, you'll need a pen, paper, and a calculator. All right. So, give me a moment. Now then, just want to make sure that you can see all of this. Okay, cool. Right. So where do you see down to about there? Right. Okay. Now I'm going to, all right, but you can obviously change the numbers to suit whatever your budget might be. Okay. I've just put basically an easy number for me to work with. All right. So so you can understand it a little better. So let us assume that on the 1st of November, oops, sorry about that. On the 1st of November at 2018, you have got a budget of $500. All right. Now, what do I mean by small, manageable, a bit like stepping stones? All right. Let's say that you set yourself a target to make $25. Okay, so bot is going to make you 5% daily. That's going to give you $25 per day. All right, doesn't sound very much. The bots that I've just got set up today, I think they've already made about ballpark sort of $18, $19. So $25 is not a lot of money to make. In fact, you could probably make that on one bot. Okay, so it's achievable. Okay, it may not be achievable every single day. Some days you may only make $5, some days you may make $40, but either way, if you just use that as an overall manageable target. Okay, so $25. Now remember, you can trade 7 days a week, but we're going to assume that you're going to just trade Monday to Friday. We're going to sort of build in some conservative factor into this analogy. So you're going to trade Monday to Friday. So that would be $25 times 5 days, which is going to equal $125 at the end of your first week. Okay. Now remember, there are generally 4 weeks in every month. So if you repeat that weekly, that will be $125 times 4, which equals, hopefully you're ahead of me now, $500. Okay. Now we have not compounded. We have not added the 125 to the 500, then made 5% a target again. All we've done is we've gone for $25 or 5% of that original budget. Okay. And we've just worked that throughout the course of the month, and you have still doubled your starting budget. Now you've got a choice here. You can withdraw your $500. Okay, so you're now trading with $500 of your binary option platform's money and not your money. Or you could because you've effectively trading with money you don't need, you could have effectively written that money off. So you could now be trading with $1,000. It's entirely up to you. It doesn't really matter. It's just making sure that you understand the principle of only 5% a day is going to make you effectively at the end of the month 100% return, which is staggering. You know, in anybody's book, that is a staggering return. Okay, so the end of the month one, okay, you've got 100% return. So what happens in month two is you've now got $1,000. We're going to assume that you've amalgamated it. Okay, times 5% equals $50. Okay, all you do is you now rinse and repeat. What happens at the end of that second month, on month three, you're going to be starting with 4K. I'm ahead of myself here. 2K. Okay, so that was month two here, and you got month three here. So when you start month three, you're going to have 2. Start month four, 4K. 5, 8K. 6, you're going to have 16K. Now, of course, you could be withdrawing money and down, take that money. It's up to you. But just bear in mind that each month, what you're doing is you're based on 5% growth on a daily basis on that target. The point in order to get to $25 here, with $1. To get $50, you may only be betting. To get, you may only be betting. Here, when you've got times 5%, you may be actually betting $20, $30, and that's when the emotion comes in, is to make that. It's not necessarily push through it comfortably within your own personal. Okay, I'm happy bet time really isn't a problem because I'm confident in the system. Okay, but if I move up to sort of $15 or $20, and I then bet it, I start to get quite nervous. Okay, what my limits are. So, okay, you do not need to be looking for the big win. What you need to be doing is level consistency, and how now sort of bit with spread. The best thing I 100 bands at best, and different. I may have like thoughts all with slightly different settings. What is the set for that? But for that, $5, $6, $10 a win. If I need $10 $10 target, 5% target here, I need to basically factor that up on the next level. Okay. And while I'm putting this away, then let me just come over to the chat. I'm not sure what's happened. It seems to have gone not responding, which isn't great. So for some reason my Hangout has gone non-responding. I don't know why. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'll have a quick drink while we're waiting. All right, have you got me? Okay, I'm not sure whether you can see or hear me now. That would be good. For some reason you can hear me. Right. Did you miss everything that I've just gone through? Is the next question. Right, I am unsure. It's frozen now. Yeah, it's frozen. Joe, for some reason my Chrome keeps coming up as and I'm not sure why. Sam keeps interrupting me. Yeah, I'm hoping that this will be better. I'm not sure why at the moment, because everything on this end got it effectively looks like it's the best it's ever been, but clearly there's been a problem, and for some reason I'll just get rid of that and the Hangout now. Right, I'm going to I can't seem to get the other bit up. Right, I'm going to ask once more. Can you see me and can you hear me? So if somebody could just pop a little comment in the box, that would be great. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, and we can we can see you and hear the mouse clicking. Okay, yes, good at the moment. Right. Okay. Right. Well, we look like we've got about 145 watching now, so no pressure. My internet for some reason just collapsed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly. So stream to in the top categories if you're ready. Right. Not sure what that is. Okay, right. I'm going to now hopefully do. I can't get, for some reason, I can't get my. There's clearly something wrong with Chrome. I can't, for some reason, clearly get my Hangout bit up at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I was going to go through the binary founders presentation, but clearly I can't bring that up. So what I'll have to do is I'll need to go to my failsafe, which is my flip chart. So I'll do that again, and hopefully, yeah, video is incredibly glitchy here. What I'll do is I'll go through this presentation. Hopefully everything will come back all right. There's clearly something wrong with it because I've now got 250 people watching this now, so there's clearly something wrong again with the way YouTube is working at the moment. So so what I'll do is I'll go through the flip chart, and then we'll see how that settles through. And what I might have to do is go through everything that we've just gone through, and hopefully we'll go through that later on Friday. Okay, bear with me a moment. Okay, guys, right. So I think I might need to whiz through this just while we've still got internet. I'm not really sure why it's doing what it's doing, but clearly it is. Right. So, founders, right? So you've seen the binary bot. If you need any more information on the binary bot, like I say, there's a ton of it now in our Facebook group. There's a ton of it in our Telegram group. There's a ton of it in our YouTube channels, and there's a ton of it in our in Jeremy's YouTube channel as well. There's loads of information about the binary bot. I've shown you a sneaky peek, if you like, of the Forex trading bot that we're going to be building and adding to the back of Zukul. Jeremy has talked about the smart wallet and the crypto mining, so you might want to know what those are very, very briefly. Smart wallet is a way of you basically buying and selling various cryptocurrency coins, and be able to buy them cheap in one exchange and then sell them for a profit in another exchange. Now, what the smart wallet will do, it will plan, a bit like chessboard, it will plan a couple of moves in advance. So it might spot that, I don't know, Fred's coin is worth $1,000 on this exchange. But what it will do is it will then go to another exchange to buy Fred's coin, and it will then buy Fred's coin on this exchange and then move over to the other exchange and sell it for a profit. And then once it's sold it for a profit, it will then know what another exchange to go for to buy and sell another cryptocurrency coin again for another profit. And it will do that all automatically for you. So that's how the smart wallet is going to work. Obviously, at every single point in that process, they're working within your own wallet. So if you want to withdraw money, take money, exchange money, change it, turn it into fiat, turn it into another cryptocurrency, you've got access to do all of that. We've also got crypto mining coming on board. Again, crypto mining tools, machines that we are building ourselves, which are interchangeable with a vast range of cryptocurrencies, not the sort of 3 or 4 most popular. It'll be a huge range of cryptocurrency coins, which means that we'll be able to make larger profits on the mining. And again, guess what? Once we've mined those coins, we will throw those into the smart wallet and again do that buying and selling process again. So it's basically feeding the smart wallet for you. So you, as a founder, will have lifetime access to those 4 bits of new software which is coming online. If you are not a founder, then you will need to pay if you want to have access to those pieces of software. And it could cost you up to 5 Bitcoin, okay? And it could cost you that every single year, because you've got a choice of becoming a founder for 0.4 Bitcoin, today, or at least until the end of October, or you have the option of buying it, of paying Bitcoin every single year in order to access the bits of software that you want to access. Now, on top of that, as a founder, you'll also have unrestricted access to Jeremy Rush, who's the owner of Zukul. You'll also have enhanced funnel positions. What does that mean? We have 4 packages in Zukul, and each package has a funnel attached. And if you are a founder, then you'll be handily placed in a more prominent position within those funnels. And again, that's a process that is already started now. We're already getting people in position ahead of our launch in November. So I know all those things are available for founders only. And of course, there's other bits and pieces that are coming on the line, which obviously I cannot tell you about. The closing date for founders is Wednesday, the 31st of October. It's 0.4 Bitcoin. If 0.4 Bitcoin is a bit too much for you in one go, then you can ask to pay that in installments. All you need to do is put a support ticket into Zukul, explain to them that you want to be a founder, and explain to them that you want to do it as a payment, in part payments, and they obviously will then send you all of the details. Clearly, if you're doing it in part payments, you won't get live access until the final payment has been made. But either way, if you want to do it in bits, then you can do it in bits. Now, we have no more platinum, no more gold, no more silver, and we have a few remaining bronze founder positions available. Now, should we not sell or fill all of the bronze founder positions, that is not a problem. They will not ever become available after the 31st of October. They will be held by the company, and we will use those at a future date. Perhaps if as leaders that are coming into Zukul, they want a prominent position, then obviously that gives us the flexibility should we want to use them. But they will never ever be available again after the 31st of October. And what do we mean by prominent position in the funnel? Well, strangely enough, we do have an affiliate compensation plan that runs at the back of Zukul. We very rarely talk about it or discuss it nowadays, simply because we've got basically a lot of automation, a lot of bots which effectively make money for us. So what do we mean about repositioning? Well, if you can imagine that this is a symbol of a funnel, and you can see here that we've got the bronze founders, they're at the bottom of the funnel, and obviously we would have silver, gold and platinum positions underneath them as well. Now, as you can see, as people join the business, they will literally come into the funnel and they will occupy the places which are available in this funnel. Now, this funnel goes up 10 levels and it goes up in factors of 3. So as you can imagine, I think it's obviously 3 is the bottom here. You've then got 9, 27, 81, 217, I think, and so on and so on and so on. So as you can see, it will start to fill up. Now, if you are already a member of Zukul and you perhaps have a position here in the middle of a funnel, and you perhaps have people above you and already in your team. Now, part of the process that we're going through now is repositioning those founders into this part of into the new location that they're due. Obviously, the bronze founder position, silver, gold, and what have you. We're repositioning those people, which is obviously creating support. Once those people have been positioned, we will then compress the funnel and fill up all of those spaces. That takes quite a while for us to do. So the thing is, that's why we need to have a cut-off date, the 31st of October, and that's why we need a period of time in order to make those moves, because those moves need to happen manually. Then once they've been made, we then need to go back and check them all. And as you can imagine, there's a couple of hundred people, a couple of hundred moves that we need to make in order to make all that work before we officially go live. So that is the reason why we have that cut-off date. Now, there is only a number of places that only a number of binary option bots that we can make available. And this is not sort of some sort of scarcity tactic or any sort of BS like that. It's a reality that we're working with a third party, which is currently Pocket Options. they are only going to allow a certain number of our bots to be used on their platform because we're going to be successful. They make their money when people lose money, all right? Our bots are going to be, if used correctly, our bots are going to be making you money, all right? So they're only going to allow a certain number of people to use them. So once we've got all of the founders using them, all of the founders who want to use them are using them, we will then open it up to people in the Zukul community. We will handpick some individuals who will have access or the option to buy access to the live bot. And then once those people have taken up their option, we will then know how many other members we can then allow to have access to the binary option bot. Once we've got that number, we will then make it on a first come, first served basis. But it won't be cheap. You know, it'll be at least 0.15 of a Bitcoin. So it's really in your interests, I think. If you want access to the bots that we've got coming online, it's in your interest to be in as a founder. From a financial point of view, it's going to be cheaper for you to do that as opposed to having to pay every single year if you're not a founder. So hopefully, I know that was a bit disjointed, but hopefully that enables you to understand the benefits of being a founder. So I'm just going to disconnect myself. And hopefully, if we haven't lost anybody in the meantime, is just find out if we've got any questions. So we've got about 5 minutes to go. I do apologise that we might have missed a good chunk of time because of the way that this is working at the moment, or not as the case may be. I still can't get onto the Hangout bit, so I might be broadcasting forever at this rate because I can't unbroadcast myself. So do we have any questions? That would be a good place to start. So I'll just give it a few minutes. If not, I will then just simply just see. Any questions, I will go through those. If not, then we may just call it with the glitches. Okay. So let me put my glasses on, Giles, that'd be better. If my budget is $500, does it mean I need to have 500 in pocket option? If your budget is 500, yes, I think. I'm not entirely sure if there's a question within a question there. But basically what I'm talking, when I was doing my little flip chart at the top there, I was using 500 as an example. So yeah, basically, if you've got $500 and you want to make 5%, then you want to grow your 5% in your pocket options account. And then as soon as you are wanting to, you can then draw down from your profits to get your, what would you call it, your seed money out. And then obviously you're then trading with pocket options is money, if you like, or just your profits. So yes, I would say is the quick answer to that, Giles. Dave Horn. I have had consistent losses over the last 6 bets. I was getting consistent wins, both in demo. The only thing I have changed is I have lowered my budget and target. Lowered your budget and your target. Okay. So what you're saying there, Dave, is that, let's say, for example, you've been trading Bitcoin and you might have had a budget of, say, $100. So I'm assuming that from that, you're saying that you're still trading Bitcoin, same strategy, same algorithm, same everything, but you might have halved your budget. So is that what you're saying? Because what you need to bear in mind is that, well, until I complete my run of this analysis, is that it is my assumption that, so for example, when I traded Bitcoin manually. So when I do my binary option trading manually, each day that I go on, there are different, if you remember, I look at the graphs of which way they're trading, and some graphs I'll go into and trade using my strategy. So my methodology is fixed the way that I trade, but the actual pairings that I trade on will change from day to day depending on how those charts are. Now with the bot, your strategy will be maybe the same, but also the charts are going to be changing. So it could be that you may need to look at the way that you set up your charts for different pairings. Now that type of analysis is what I'm doing now with my spreadsheets. So it might be that you need to go through that spreadsheet understanding and have a look at your winning bots and work out what your I seem to have gone blank. Hopefully I'm still recording. Go through your spreadsheets or go through your winning bots, as it were, just to super analyze what it was that you had your settings were, put those settings into today, and then see what sort of results it would have produced over the past 3 days, just to see if it would still have been consistent. The only reason in changing your stop loss and your budget would have an effect is if you needed a lot of breathing room between your for you to trade. For example, you needed a large stop loss in order for it to then get into profit. Then yes, by making your stop loss smaller, that will cause you an issue. But I can't think of any other reason without having a look at them, obviously, personally. So also see the second. Dave, I've only got one part of your question. Do apologise, but on my screen I've only got one part of the question. So if there's a second part to that question, if you could paste that in, that would be good. So just wait for a few minutes for that to happen. Peter, can you go over the results of the bot you set up on Monday on the live chat, Vercom? I covered that before, Peter. Yes, I told you it was an absolute disaster. I think it topped out at, I think I stopped it, I think it was about $45 or something like that. I think I stopped it out there, so it was an absolute disaster. But I think I covered that at the beginning of the Hangout. I don't really want to be opening up any more tabs because my internet seems to be having a struggle just with the Hangout at the moment for some reason. So it just seems to be getting a little bit better. So Dave, I can only see your original question. I don't see a second part. So if you want to pop that in, I'll get back to you on that. Okay, okay, thanks. I'm just joining in. Oh, right, no problem, Peter. Dave Horn, I think you have answered it. Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate thing is that there is no, there is very rarely a yes or a no answer. So unless you're looking at, so for example, when we looked at, what was it we looked at on Monday? Vercoin, wasn't it? So we looked at Vercoin, and what we had, I thought, was an absolutely brilliant set of 3 days worth of results. And we set it all up. I thought that was an absolute winner, and for whatever reason, it just crashed and bombed. And that just happens. There is no sort of thinking around it, no reasoning around it. The only, like I said, the only thing that I would do if I was doing manually is that my strategy is fixed, but what I trade has to fit that strategy. And so therefore, when I'm setting up my bots now, is that originally I set them up with that strategy in mind, whereas now I've had to be a lot more flexible. And I think really this sort of over analysis that I do, which is just the way that I work, seems to have had a positive result just in the case of the past sort of, 9 hours, 6 hours or so. So I just wanted to share that with you because I mentioned it on Monday. And again, it's something that you guys can look at yourself, and do that sort of analysis. Because at the end of the day, you look at Jeremy's bot that he's had running for the past 2 weeks. Okay, it's doing phenomenally well. Now, it's not doing phenomenally well every single day. Okay, some days it does really well, some days it takes a loss. But because it's got, what is it, 40, 50 grand's worth of winnings in there, then those losses don't show so much. So you don't notice that it may lose 2 grand today because it's still got 40 grand in that pot, whereas the day after it might make another 2 or 3 grand. So it's about trying to find just one of those pairings and then allowing that pairing to then run and run and run. And it's really building, bringing that Forex strategy into the binary options bot mentality. So that's basically where I'm trying to take that to, and hopefully you can see that. Okay, right, I think what we'll do is we'll cut while we're winning. We've just gone over the hour. Hopefully you've got a little bit of value out of today. I wanted to sort of go through a little bit more about what we've got coming online, because obviously we've got founders who want to see the smart wallet and the Forex and all that type of thing. They want to see what we've got coming on. They can see what we've got now in development. Like I say, we've still got quite a bit of fine tuning to do with the binary options bot. We've still got quite a bit of that to do over the next couple of weeks, and then obviously that will then be set live properly when we're ready to go for launch. So yeah, we've got some exciting times ahead. Now, I may do another hangout on Friday. So if you've got any questions, then again, just keep hitting me up with them on Facebook, or hit them up in the comments section below, or anywhere that you can get in touch with me. Just give me the questions, and what I'll do is I'll hopefully be able to cover those, internet willing, and touching as much table as I can. Internet willing, I'll be able to answer those on Friday. Okay. And now what I need to do is try and get out of this hangout, because my hangout bit can't come. So thanks very much for today. I can't. It could be that I'll still be here on Friday chatting. Take care, and thank you very much. Bye bye.